Okay, for number 9, you can look at it as a one big trapezoid, or you can look at it as a parallelogram and a triangle. I think the easiest way is probably just to look at it as a triangle so that you only have to do one formula. So base 1 plus base 2 times your height divided by 2 is the formula for a trapezoid. My base 1, I have to figure some things out. From here to here, since it's a rhombus, this is 10 and this is 10. So my base 1 is 10 plus 3, which is 13, plus the base 2, which is 10, all divided by 2, but before I divide by 2, I have to multiply it by the height. Well, on your worksheet, it does give you the height is 9.6 feet. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my 9.6 right here for my height. So it's part of the right triangle. So I have 13 plus 10, which is 23, times 9.6, all divided by 2. And when I work that out, the area of the trapezoid is 104, or 110 and 4/10 feet squared. Looking at number 10, I have to find the area of the shaded region. So I can do this, again, a couple different ways. I like to take the whole big area of the square, and I know it's a square because this is the same as this. So those two sides are the same, therefore it's a square. So 15, so looking at the area, s squared, so 15 squared equals 225. So the area of the whole big square is 225, and that is not feet but inches squared. Now I have to figure out I can do it a couple different ways. I can figure out the area of the white and subtract it out, which I think is probably the easiest, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to consider this the base of my triangle, and 15 is my height from here to here, the distance. So I'm going to say, I'm going to put triangle symbol here. Area of the triangle is 15 times 7 divided by 2. And when I figure that out, I should get 52 and 5/10. So now I have to subtract the total area, 225 minus 52 and 5/10. When I do that, I get 172 and 5/10 inches squared. I'm going to take, looking at number 11, if the area of a triangle is 163 square inches and the height is 48, find the length of the base. So the first thing I do is I write down the formula for area of a triangle. So I'm going to say area of a triangle is, I like to say base times height divided by 2. Some people like to say half the base times the height. So instead of A for area, I'm going to put 163. And they don't give me my base, so I just put a B there. They give me my height is 48. And I divide that by 2. So now I have 163 equals, these two, when I divide it, I get 24. Divide by 24 on both sides, so 163 divided by 24. When I do that, I get 6 and 79/100. Moving on to number 12, a parallelogram has sides of 14 and 18, and the angles between the two sides is 42 degrees. Find the area of the parallelogram. So if I draw my parallelogram, I have 18 and 14. Draw a right angle there. The angle between the two sides is 42. So if I would put 18 here, it's between the two sides, so I'm going to put a 42 right there. So I'm trying to find h, which is opposite. This thing right here, h is opposite, and this is hypotenuse. So opposite over hypotenuse is sine. Sine of 42 equals opposite, which is h, over 14. So h equals sine of 42 times 14, which is 9 3/700. So now I can figure out the area of the parallelogram by taking my base, which is 18, times my height, which is 9 3/700. And my answer is 168 66 hundredths centimeters squared. Okay, moving on to number 13, the area of a trapezoid is 98. So I'm going to write the formula for area of a trapezoid. Base 1 plus base 2 times 2 divided by, times your height, not 2. So I have my base, the area tells me it's 98 square feet, so I have to replace A with 98. The height is 14, and one base is 5, so I'm going to put 5 plus the other base times 14, all divided by 2. Well, I like to get rid of my fraction, so I'm going to reduce that and make that a 7. So I have 98 equals 5 plus b squared times 7. I would distribute that. I'd have 98 equals 35 plus 7b squared. Whoops, not squared. b2. When I subtract 35 on both sides, I get 63 equals 7b squared divided by 7. And b equals 9. And this should not be squared right here. It's b2. So 9 inches. Okay, the length of the rectangle is 3 times its width. If the perimeter is 68 inches, find the length and width of the rectangle. So, I'm going to start with the rectangle. And when I do that, I have the length of the rectangle is 3 times its width. So I don't know the width, but I know the length is 3 times the width. If the perimeter is 68, so P equals 68, then I know I have to add up all the sides. So I have a W here and a W here and a 3W on the bottom, so I have a 3W on top. So I have 3, 6 W's, 7, 8 W's. So 8W equals 68. And I divide by 8, and 68 divided by 8 is 8.5. So my width is 8.5. Then to find my length, I would take 8.5 times it by 3. And 8.5 times by 3 is 25.5. 25 5/10. These are both inches. Now for number 15, whoops. The area of a kite, I'm going to erase that real quick, if I can. Nope. It won't let me. So, the area of a kite is 72 square meters. So we have a kite here. And area equals 72. And the formula for a kite is D1 times D2 all divided by 2. So my first, to find my diagonals. And if the area is 72, I'm going to replace A with 72. and it says one diagonal is 9, so I'm going to put 9 here, times the other diagonal, which we don't know, so I'm just going to label it D, divided by 2. So I have 90 divided by 2 equals 72. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. Divide by 9. And when you take 144 divided by 9, you get an answer of 16.